There's something about the ocean that makes a man believe he can outrun his past. Maybe it's the sound of it, the way the waves come in and go back out, erasing footprints, smoothing sand, pretending nothing ever happened here. Ray believed that. For a long time, Ray believed the ocean could wash a man clean.
The Spritvox. It's alive.
He had first come to Crescent Shore at 23, young, stupid, and deeply in love with a girl named Elena. They had walked this beach together every evening that summer, bare feet in the cold, wet sand, fingers interlocked, talking about the kind of future that only exists when you're 23 and the world hasn't shown you what it's actually made of yet. That was 14 years ago. A lot had changed since then. Elena was gone. The love was gone. And somewhere along the way, so was the version of Ray who had been capable of either. He had returned to Crescent Shore for one reason, and one reason only: to feel something good again. And for 3 days it worked. He swam in the morning until his arms gave out. He ate fried fish from the shack near the pier. He sat on the sand every evening and watched the sun melt into the water like it was in no hurry at all. He laughed, genuinely laughed, at a stray dog stealing someone's sandwich, at his own terrible attempt to rent a surfboard, at absolutely nothing at all one afternoon when the sky turned a shade of orange he had no words for. For 3 days, Crescent Shore gave Ray exactly what he came for. It was the fourth night that took it all back. Past midnight, the boardwalk had emptied. The food stalls were dark. The only light came from the hotels lining the far end of the road, their signs reflecting in the wet road in broken orange letters. Ray walked with his hands in his pockets, pleasantly tired, thinking about nothing in particular. His hotel was 7 minutes away. He would never make it in 7 minutes. Something made him look left. He didn't know what. There was no sound from that direction, no movement, no reason at all. But he looked. And there it was, set back from the road behind a rusted iron gate, half hidden by trees that had grown wild and untrimmed for what looked like many, many years. A house, 2 stories, old construction, the kind of house that was probably beautiful once, in a different decade, when someone still cared. Now the windows were black. The paint had peeled down to bare wood in long gray strips. The garden had consumed the front path entirely. The gate hung open at a broken angle, like a jaw that had forgotten how to close. Ray had passed this road 3 times in 3 days. He had never noticed this house, and this thought arrived with a coldness that had nothing to do with the night air. He had noticed it, and some part of him had simply refused to look. He stopped walking. The buried house. He had heard that name. A woman at the fish shack had said it 2 days ago. He had assumed it was the name of a restaurant, something trendy. The kind of place that puts Edison bulbs over reclaimed wood tables and charges $18 for a cocktail. He was not looking at a restaurant. He was looking at the most abandoned building he had ever seen, and standing in front of it, perfectly still, facing the road, was an old man. Ray blinked. The man hadn't been there a moment ago. He was certain of that. He had been looking directly at the gate, at the house, at the dark windows, and there had been no one. And now there was someone, old, Leanne, standing very straight for his age, dressed in a dark jacket despite the warmth of the night. His hands were at his sides. His face was turned toward the road, toward Ray. Ray told himself to keep walking. His legs agreed. 1 step, 2 steps. The gravel crunched under his shoes, too loud in the silence. He kept his eyes forward, on the hotel lights in the distance, on the orange reflections in the road. He took a 3rd step and stopped. Not because he chose to, not because something startled him. His legs simply stopped. Ray looked down at his feet on the road. They looked normal. The road looked normal. There was nothing there. He told his left foot to lift. His left foot did not lift. He told his right foot to lift. Nothing. It wasn't pain. It wasn't cramp. It was resistance. A deep, downward weight wrapping around his ankles, his shins, as if the road itself had silently decided it was done letting him pass. He looked up. The old man was walking toward him. Slow steps, patient steps, the steps of a man who has already calculated that you are not going anywhere. Ray opened his mouth to shout, to call for anyone at all, because the boardwalk was empty, but the hotels were right there. The lights were right there. The old man stepped into the light of the last working street lamp on the road. Ray did not shout, because Ray recognized the face. He had last seen that face across a dinner table 14 years ago. Elena's father, passing the bread, asking Ray about his job prospects, smiling the way men smile when they have already decided they don't like you, but are too polite to say so yet. He had seen it at Elena's graduation, standing slightly apart from everyone else, watching his daughter in a way that Ray, at 23, had not known how to name. He knew the name for it now. He had seen it one last time in a police station corridor, 5 months after Elena disappeared, walked out of their apartment one evening and never came back. Number note, no call, no trace. Her father had been there for questioning, just questioning. He was never charged. He had looked at Ray across that corridor with flat, patient eyes, and said 4 words so quietly that Ray wasn't sure, afterward, if he had imagined them. She is resting now. The police had found nothing. The case went cold. Everyone, her friends, her family, the investigators, had eventually settled into the comfortable explanation that Elena had simply left. People do that. People disappear by choice. Ray had never believed it. Not with those eyes. Not with those 4 words. Not with the way her father had looked at him in that corridor. Not with grief. Not with anger. Not with the desperation of a man whose daughter was missing. But with the quiet satisfaction of a man whose problem had been handled. Ray felt the pressure climbing past his knees. He clawed at the air. He threw his weight forward, backward. His upper body moved, but his lower body was anchored, held down the way you hold something down when you do not want it to surface. The old man stopped 2 feet away. He looked at Ray the same way he had looked at him across that dinner table, across that corridor, calm, patient, certain. And in the half-second before the darkness took him, Ray finally understood. He hadn't come back to Crescent Shore for the ocean. He had been brought back because some places remember what was done in them, and some debts are collected in kind